I'm David, 43 years old, Senior Operations Manager. I started at Poetic Solutions right out of college. Entry-level analyst, 22 years old, eager to prove myself. The company was small back then, 12 employees, one office, big dreams. I worked 80-hour weeks, nights, weekends, holidays. I didn't have a family, didn't have hobbies. I had the job. I helped build that company from the ground up. Every system, every process, every major client relationship. I knew the business better than anyone, even better than the CEO. When Richard joined as VP 5 years ago, I trained him, showed him everything, every trick, every shortcut, every client preference. He was charming, confident, Harvard MBA, designer suits, perfect teeth. Everyone loved him, especially upper management. I didn't mind. I wasn't there for glory. I was there to build something real. We became friends, or so I thought. Coffee every morning, lunch twice a week. He called me his right-hand man. I trusted him completely. But over the last year, things shifted. He stopped including me in meetings, took credit for my ideas. His office door was always closed. I told myself it was just corporate politics. He was ambitious. That's fine. I kept my head down, kept working, kept believing loyalty mattered. I should have seen the signs earlier. But then, small things started to change. It started 3 months before I got fired. I noticed Richard was in early meetings without me. Meetings about projects I managed. When I asked about it, he smiled. Just routine stuff, nothing you need to worry about. But I did worry. Then came the email, accidentally forwarded to me. Richard to the CEO. David's methods are outdated. We need fresh thinking. I recommend restructuring his department. My hands shook as I read it. Restructuring. That's corporate speak for getting rid of someone. I confronted him the next day. Richard, what's this about restructuring? He didn't even flinch. Oh, that. Look, David, the company's evolving. We need people who can keep up. I built half these systems. I know them better than anyone. Exactly. You're stuck in the past. We need innovation, not nostalgia. I felt like I'd been punched. I've given this company 18 years, and we appreciate that. But appreciation doesn't equal permanence. That's when I knew. He wasn't my friend. He never was. Over the next weeks, I watched him quietly dismantle everything I built. He reassigned my projects, hired his own people, excluded me from client calls. I became invisible. Then I found the real evidence, an email chain between Richard and 2 board members. David's compensation is too high for his output. If we let him go, we can hire 2 junior managers for the same cost. Plus, he knows too much about the old structure. Could be a liability during the upcoming acquisition talks. Acquisition talks. What acquisition talks? I dug deeper. Found documents, private emails, financial projections. Richard was planning to sell Cortec to a European firm. He'd negotiated himself a VP position in the new structure, 7-figure bonus, stock options, and I was the loose end he needed to tie up before the deal closed. The final blow came on a Tuesday morning. Richard called me into his office. HR was there, corporate lawyer too. David, we're letting you go, effective immediately. We're restructuring the department. I stared at him. After 18 years, it's just business, nothing personal. Nothing personal. That phrase echoed in my head. You'll get 2 months severance, sign this NDA, pack your things. I looked at the NDA. It was brutal. I couldn't disparage the company, couldn't discuss any internal operations, couldn't contact clients. I signed it, not because I was scared, but because I already had a plan. Richard watched me pack. He didn't even have the decency to look sorry. As I walked out, carrying my box of personal items, I heard him on the phone, laughing. Yeah, he's gone, finally. Now we can move forward without dead weight. I stood in the parking lot, box in my hands, 18 years in a cardboard container. But they made one mistake. They thought I was broken. I didn't cry, didn't rage, didn't post angry LinkedIn updates. I went home, made coffee, opened my laptop, and I smiled. Because Richard forgot one crucial detail about my past. 10 years ago, when Cortec almost went bankrupt, I invested my life savings to keep it afloat. $150,000. The CEO was desperate. He offered me equity in exchange. I took it. 42% ownership, silent partner agreement, no board seat, no operational control, just equity. Why silent? Because I didn't want politics. I wanted to work, to build. The paperwork was filed through a trust. My name wasn't on any public documents. When the company recovered and grew, my equity grew with it. Cortec was now worth 80 million. My stake, about 34 million on paper. But here's the twist. 2 years ago, Cortec was acquired by Tech Ventures Global, a massive conglomerate. The acquisition was structured so Cortec operated independently. But major decisions, hiring, firing, restructuring, required approval from Tech Ventures board. Guess who sat on that board as a silent investor representative? Me. Richard had no idea. The HR team had no idea. Even the CEO didn't connect the dots. I made one phone call to James, Tech Ventures CEO, an old friend. James, it's David. We need to talk. David, long time. How's Cortec treating you? That's what I'm calling about. I told him everything. The firing, Richard's planned acquisition deal, the NDA I signed. James went quiet. Wait. Richard's negotiating a sale without board approval. Apparently, with a European firm, he's promised himself a VP position and a 7-figure bonus. That's a breach of contract. He can't negotiate asset sales without us. I know. That's why I'm calling. James didn't waste time. I'll handle this. But David, why didn't you tell me sooner? I wanted to believe people were better than they are. I was wrong. Get some rest. I'll call you tomorrow. That night, I slept better than I had in months. The next morning, James called. We're launching an internal investigation. Richard's actions constitute gross misconduct, unauthorized negotiations, breach of fiduciary duty. What happens now? Board meeting Friday, he'll be terminated, possibly face legal action if he's taken kickbacks. Good. But I wasn't done yet. I reached out to 3 key clients, people I'd worked with for over a decade. People Richard thought were his relationships. I didn't badmouth Cortec. I simply let them know I was no longer there. Available for consulting if needed. 2 of them immediately called James, threatened to pull their contracts if I wasn't brought back in some capacity. The 3rd client? They cancelled their $1 million renewal, said they only stayed because of me. Richard's carefully built empire started crumbling. Friday came, the board meeting. I wasn't there physically, but James called me after. It's done. Richard's been terminated, effective immediately. No severance. We're considering legal action for the unauthorized negotiations. How'd he take it? Not well. He tried to argue, said he was acting in the company's best interest. The board didn't buy it. Did anyone tell him why this happened? No. We kept your involvement private, as you requested. Good. I hung up, sat in my home office, stared out the window. 3 days. That's all it took. 3 days to dismantle 18 years of his arrogance. But what came next changed me forever. The news spread fast. Richard was gone. No explanation. Just a vague company email about leadership changes. People started calling me. Old colleagues, clients, even people I barely knew. Did you hear about Richard? What happened? I played dumb. No idea, I've been out of the loop. But inside I felt strange. Not triumphant, not victorious, just empty. I thought revenge would feel better. I thought watching him fall would heal something in me. It didn't. James called a week later. David, the board wants to talk to you. Would you consider coming back? As what? Chief Operations Officer, full executive position, board seat, 20% raise from your old salary. I should have been excited, but I wasn't. Can I think about it? Of course, take your time. I spent the next 2 weeks alone, walking, thinking, processing. What did I actually want? Did I want to go back to the place that let me be pushed out? One evening, my phone rang, unknown number. Hello? David, it's Richard. My stomach tightened. How'd you get my number? I need to talk to you, please, just 5 minutes. I should have hung up, but curiosity won. Fine, talk. He sighed, heavy, broken. I know it was you. I don't know how, but I know. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't play games, the timing, the board's investigation, the clients pulling out. It all traces back to you. I didn't respond. I just want to know why. I thought we were friends. That word, friends. You fired me after 18 years, Richard. You called me dead weight. You tried to erase everything I built. I was under pressure, the acquisition, the board. They wanted cuts. So you cut me? The guy who trained you, who trusted you? Silence. I'm sorry, he whispered. I was wrong. I got caught up in the politics, the power. I forgot what mattered. Yeah, you did. For what it's worth, you were right. About everything. The company's falling apart without you. Clients are leaving, the team's lost. I felt a weird pang. Not sympathy, but something close. What are you doing now? I asked. Nothing. No one will hire me. Word got out about the unauthorized negotiations. I'm blacklisted. Part of me felt vindicated, but another part felt sad. Richard, I didn't destroy you because I hated you. I did it because you forgot that loyalty isn't weakness, and betrayal has consequences. I know, and I'm paying for it. Good luck. I hung up. I sat there for a long time, thinking about power, about revenge, about what it costs to win. A month later, I accepted the COO position, but on my terms. I restructured the department Richard dismantled, hired back people he fired, rebuilt relationships with clients. But I also changed how I worked. I didn't stay until midnight anymore. I didn't sacrifice everything for the company, because I learned something. Loyalty is only valuable when it's mutual. I started mentoring younger employees, teaching them to protect themselves, to document everything, to never let anyone take credit for their work. I also started therapy. Yeah, therapy, because revenge doesn't heal trauma. It just delays it. My therapist asked me once, "Do you regret what you did to Richard?" I thought about it, really thought about it. No, but I regret that it had to happen. I regret that I trusted someone who didn't deserve it. Do you think he learned anything? I don't know. I hope so. But that's not my responsibility anymore. 6 months after I returned, I got a LinkedIn message from Richard. David, I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I wanted you to know I'm teaching business ethics at a community college now. It's not corporate, it's not glamorous, but it's honest. And I tell my students about you. about how I lost everything because I forgot what integrity means. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know that you taught me the most important lesson of my career. Thank you. I stared at that message for a long time. Then I closed the app. I didn't respond. Maybe I would someday. Maybe I wouldn't. But in that moment, I realized something profound. And that's when I realized this story wasn't about them anymore. A year after everything happened, I was sitting in my new office. Corner view, glass walls, everything I never cared about but somehow ended up with. I was reviewing Q3 projections when my assistant knocked. "David, there's someone here to see you. He doesn't have an appointment." "Who?" "Richard. He says it's important." My chest tightened. "Send him in." Richard walked in. He looked different, older, tired, but calmer, less polished. "Thanks for seeing me," he said quietly. "What do you want, Richard?" "I'm not here to apologize again. I know that doesn't mean much. I'm here because I need advice." That surprised me. Advice. I've been offered a job, small startup, regional manager. It's not much, but it's a chance to rebuild, and I'm scared I'll mess it up again. I leaned back, studied him. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you're the only person who'll tell me the truth. Everyone else either hates me or doesn't know what happened." I thought about it. What would I say? What could I say? "Richard, you want my advice? Here it is. Stop trying to be the smartest guy in the room. Start being the most trustworthy. Stop taking credit. Start giving it. And never, ever forget that people aren't resources. They're human beings who gave you their time, their trust, their loyalty." He nodded slowly. "That's it. That's everything." He stood, extended his hand. "Thank you." I shook it. Firm but brief. "Good luck." As he walked out, I felt something shift inside me. Not forgiveness, not friendship, but closure. Real, honest closure. I realized something in that moment. Revenge didn't save me, it didn't heal me, it just gave me time to heal myself. The real victory wasn't destroying Richard, it was rebuilding David. The guy who trusted too much, who gave everything, who forgot his own value. That guy was gone. And in his place was someone stronger, wiser, more careful, but also more open, more willing to mentor, to teach, to help. Because betrayal taught me the most important lesson of my life. Protect yourself, but don't close yourself off. Trust carefully, but still trust. Give loyalty, but demand it in return. And never, ever let anyone make you feel disposable. I built my career twice, once naively, once intentionally. The second time was harder, but it was mine. Richard lost everything because he forgot one simple truth. Power is temporary, but integrity is permanent. I didn't fire him for revenge. I fired him for justice. And justice isn't about destruction. It's about balance. Betrayal broke me, but it also rebuilt me. And now I'm unbreakable. So here's what I want you to take from this. If someone betrays you in your career, don't just get angry. Get strategic. Document everything. Build relationships. Protect your value. And never let anyone tell you you're replaceable. Because you're not. You're the sum of every hour you worked, every idea you created, every relationship you built. Don't let corporate politics erase that. Richard thought he could fire me and move on. He thought 18 years meant nothing. But he forgot that the people you step on today might be the ones who hold your future tomorrow. Loyalty isn't weakness. It's power. But only when it's mutual. If you've ever been pushed out, undervalued, or betrayed at work, I hope this story reminds you you're stronger than they think. And sometimes, the quiet guy in the corner office, he's the one who owns the building. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button. Drop a comment about your own work experience. I read every one. And subscribe if you want more real stories about justice, karma, and second chances. Because trust me, I've got more to tell. Stay strong, stay strategic,